Hey guys, Kenny here. Haven't been on in a while. Busy time of year. Weather, crazy weather. We had 100-degree plus heat. I'm showing. Let me know if I'm coming through okay. I'll try plugging in, but right now it's showing very low on the Wi-Fi. Let me try to plug in. See if that makes a difference. A little better. All right, we're plugged in. Let's see if that works. Anyway. This past week or so, a lot of simple repairs coming in, which is really good. And when I say simple repairs, how about now, Dave? I plugged it in. I don't know if it's going to be any different. That's another reason I haven't been on too. My internet's just total crap lately. Very, very slow. Sporadic, choppy. We'll see. Yeah, see? I could see. Oh, it doesn't look too bad right now. Anyhow, when I say simple repairs, just things like fuel. It's old fuel, water in the fuel. Things like clogged air filter, clogged fuel filter. It seems like the past 3 or 4 pieces of equipment that came in, that's all they were. 2-strokes especially, I never use the fuel that's in them. I don't care how new it is. I end up putting new fuel in it, and they seem to work pretty good. Hey, Randy's here. Lee is here. Hello, everyone. It's been a while, about a month since I've seen everybody or talked to everybody. Let's see. Yeah, so fuel filters. One was a spark plug. One, it would start, run, die a couple times, and then finally, I said, "Let me just change the plug." Plug didn't look bad. I changed it, and boom. Someone, I think Dave, you responded, or you were talking to us this morning about people buying the Chinesium kits, and they're using the cheap spark plugs that come in them. Like, for example, you buy a kit from I forget who it was, one of the major brands, aftermarket brands, and HIPAA, say HIPAA, and it comes with a plug, and generic HIPAA plug. I'm not saying they're bad. I don't use them, but I'm not saying they're bad. And you changed it, and it was fine. So things like that. So different fixes, cheap fixes, things like that. So the torch plugs definitely. Although my friends in the UK, they love the torch plugs. They use them all the time. They absolutely love them. I just haven't had the best of luck with them, especially on snow blowers and snow throwers. They just seem, when it's cold out, they don't like to work consistently. So anyway, showing 15 watching, 13 now, went down a little bit. Anyway, I emailed out links to everybody, and hopefully today I'm just doing it because it's sort of a mid cast day today, the weather, and we'll see how it goes. Quick question: what did Randy say? Power more? Yeah, but usually in the power more, they're not torch, but they are an aftermarket. It may be a torch derivative. Anytime I get in an MTD with a power more, I'll change it out for a champion or an NGK at this point. But yeah, Robert, how you doing? I just, like I said, the torch for me, I just haven't been that lucky. Wayne, I emailed you. Check it out. My internet, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be crappy or what. I was choppy before. I don't know if it's going to be. Some easy fixes coming in. I've got I ordered a Chinese carb for a Honda rototiller, the cultivator, the small one that arrived. I'm going to throw that on. For some reason, the guy had the factory carb that was on there, the Walbro rotary style carburetor, was missing gaskets. I don't know if he had someone take it apart or not or whatever, but it was leaking fuel all over the place. The fuel pump diaphragm. Anyway, here we go. I think it's Mr. Wayne here.
Kenny,
yo,
got the mop going here.
I was gonna say, look at that hair! Holy shit!
Well, that's the new haircut. Been a while. You've been busy?
Yeah, just busy, and my internet. Don't ask me Otherwise, just
Yeah, I know. Last live
it's
you were
terrible. I
having
don't know if
issues.
it's E. Yep. What was that you just said? I didn't. You still there, Wayne? I see you.
Yeah, I'm still here. You're breaking up off and on. You're breaking up over here.
I know. My internet, I don't know what it is. I have it plugged into the cable, but it's just crap. So that's another reason I haven't really been on. The internet here sucks. So
Yeah, it was
and then
hot.
everyone's telling me to get fiber, but then they're saying the fiber here sucks.
Yeah, we just got Kojiko over here, and then my next door neighbor's got like Bell fiber line.
Syncing together on mine, so my internet right now is terrible.
Yeah, and you were saying torch plugs. Yeah, we throw them out, like except for the K7 RTC. I don't know if there's a replacement for the K7 RTC plug.
Yeah, see, I can barely hear you, Wayne. Everything's breaking.
You can't hear? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but I'm going to put the stream on my TV. Or hold on, you know what? I'm going to turn my phone on. Hold on. I'm going to cut my. Let me see. Hold on. Let me put it on my phone real quick, and then I'll shut off my mic for a second. Give me a second. I just want to see.
Well, thank you very much, Klaus. Except it's a K7 RTC plug,
Hey,
not an F.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you came through there. Okay, keep talking.
Yeah, it's hit and miss right now.
No, at least that's clear. Before you were breaking up,
That's
like
another
I
reason.
couldn't even get a full sentence.
Yeah. Now the past couple streams, that's what it's been. I couldn't even enjoy it because
yeah, see, breaking up again.
But Starlink, we don't have that here yet, Randy. I don't know if they have it anywhere close to here in New England.
Yeah, so close. Is there a replacement plug for the K?
You been busy, Wayne, or what?
Yeah, we were pretty well swamped. We just caught up. A lot of deck repairs, a lot of welding. We're seeing decks coming in, like a heavy-duty John Deere deck where they hit a tree root. Not only did they split the spindle in half, but they broke two pieces out of a heavy-duty John Deere deck. It actually hit that hard. So we had to order new spindles, put the pieces back in, and we actually bought online. They've got circular backup plates. They're 3/16 of an inch thick, so we put that on the top because we weren't comfortable.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, worked out really good. Other than the bolts that came with the. Now you would think a John Deere is going to be metric, and the bolts that came with the backup plate are M8, so they're metric, but the bolts that go into the spindle, the guy supplied the spindle, they were 5/16 18. So they were they were SAE threads. So Jake had to run out and pick up some longer ones because the ones that when we put that 3/16 plate on, we needed that extra length to hold that spindle properly.
Okay.
Hank,
Doing?
and Bruce are in the house.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Nice to see
No,
you.
Bruce and I were in mourning because the Edmonton Oilers lost the Stanley Cup, didn't win the Stanley Cup.
That would have sure helped. It would have helped the game a lot in Canada.
Yeah,
Wayne, did
they
you
got
see my
outplayed. Close.
yes, Wayne, did you see my last post for the K? It's BKR6ES.
Oh, okay. A BKR6ES. Okay. Yeah.
I want to put my 2 cents in on the torch plugs, because my experience is that when a torch plug runs good, it's just as good as any other plug. The problem is they fail too often, and they fail in ways that we normally don't see in quality spark plugs.
Yeah.
The ones that are, the power more, you guys call them power mores, I call them something else,
Long
or
sense,
smart
power
mores, whatever that. Well, Longsin usually stick with torch, but depending on who ordered those 10,000 engines from Longsin, they sometimes, I even had it actually says Bosch on the plug,
Yeah.
but it's not a real Bosch. it's something other Bosch. It's a Chinese crappy spark plug that can throw you off for an hour and a half. The second I see them, they go out NGK, or as Kenny said, NGK or Champion goes in.
Yeah, anything that's
Yeah,
standard.
I will say one thing though. Lately, I've been getting a lot of those cheap push mowers in, where cost is on, apparently not mine, but everybody else's screen. I mean, they paid nothing for the machine, and they will pay nothing for service. So I was thinking, trying not to fight it, because you can't. I mean, people, if you charge too much for a service on a cheap mower, that they're not going to come back. So I found that my supplier, which is the main Oregon dealer in Denmark, they have Oregon plugs. And now I thought I knew who made them, but I don't. I thought I knew, but then something came. Doesn't matter. Oregon makes their own brand of plugs, and to me, they are aftermarket plugs, not the same quality as Champion and NGKs or Densos, but they'll do okay. They'll do okay in a cheap mower. They'll. I haven't had any comebacks based on those plugs, so I've started using those in the, what should we call them? Economy mowers, the lower end, whatever they're called.
Desperation mowers.
The cheap
Yes,
ones.
yes, those. So I've started using, because they normally are conformed to whatever Honda engine they're replicating. So if it's a BPR 6ES, it goes to BPR 6ES or a 5 or a 7. And I have those in Oregon. I've started using them, and I've been using them for almost a year now. And I don't have comebacks. I don't have people coming back after a couple of months say, oh, no, it won't start. And it's in, well, I've had those come back, but it's not because of the plug. So yeah, Oregon, a price-friendly alternative, and I've started using them. If a Honda comes in, it either gets an NGK, or if I've been on sale and Denso they'll get a Denso. But no, yeah, the cheap ones, they get Oregons, and it's, I mean, they don't have the full range like NGK does or Champion does, but they have the most commonly used ones. They actually don't have the BPR 7 ES. They have the 5 ES and the 6 ES replacements, but not the 7.
Our pressure washer, 6.5 years old. It had a torch plug in it for 6.5 years.
No, but I mean,
and it worked fine.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is, The plug itself is okay. The problem is that in when you do statistics on failures and all that,
Yeah.
they fail more often and they fail more spectacular. That they'll have like a crack, a whole long crack in the porcelain part, which you never see on an NGK. And if you do, it's because somebody whacked it with a hammer.
I think if you've got one of those, pardon me, Bruce here. I think if you've got one of those plugs that works in a imported engine of any kind, it'll work.
It will, Bruce, and it's but I'm a slave to my own.
I don't use them unless it's okay. If it's a $40 more, and I'm selling it for $60.
Yeah,
and it's running good.
I
will probably sell that more for $60.
Yeah,
with that plug in it.
But if I see a torch, I will replace it. I may replace it with an Oregon, but I will replace it. It's the failure rate are just too great. I mean, I've had mowers come in 5 years, never had a service with a torch plug in, and they start like a charm. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this plug. The problem is that if it's 1 in 1,000 when it comes to champion and NGKs that are bad, fair enough. In torch, it's much lower.
150, 1 in 50.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I don't know how to put a number on it, but yeah, they just and when they fail, they usually fail with something that requires you to spend a lot of time diagnosing it, because they fail spectacularly, like weird things. I've seen torches where the tip has come off of the. That's why in small 2-strokes, I will only use Bosch or NGK, nothing else. Hi, GGM.
It was funny to see Jim Brewer saying he's had good success with HIPAAs. I've always wondered about the HIPAAs because they were selling them for $1.
I know. I mean, whenever I get those infamous or whatever kits, and there's a plug in it, it goes.
Yeah.
Immediately. I don't trust it. I mean, if you put that thing in a chainsaw and it loses I mean, in a 4-stroke, it'll probably survive it. I mean, it'll get hammered into a head or a piston, or it'll vent out the exhaust. But in a 2-stroke, that's catastrophic. So well, out. NGKs and Bosch plugs for 2-strokes only from my side.
And then you got Jason at Pate's saying that he had a big issue with a bunch of NGKs that he was using.
Yeah.
He switched over to Champion.
I know.
Yeah, but remember, there's 2 types of NGK, right? Chinese.
There are the Amazon eBay NGKs where nobody knows anything.
Well,
I buy my NGKs from an NGK dealer.
So about 8 years ago, there was a whole bunch of Champion plugs that came out of Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. They said Champion on them, but the font on the porcelain was a little different than the font on a standard Champion plug.
I know.
And they were terrible.
Yeah. And
sorry, Brazil. If you're watching Brazil, I'm sorry, but they were crap.
Yeah. And also, I mean, Jason, with all respect for Jason, he does good. Jason, I would assume, buys a lot of his stuff on eBay or Amazon. And I mean, I bought cola coils on eBay. It comes in, it's in an OEM cola box. You take it out, does not say cola.
Yeah.
I mean, well, when you buy from other than licensed dealers, I can see why Jason may have had issues with it. I have bought NGKs once on eBay and got something, as Bruce said, the writing on it was a little wonky.
Mm-hmm.
5 plugs in the trash.
No, I bought the inexpensive Briggs and Stratton, whatever it is, BR2LM.
Yeah.
And
good plug.
They were good, and I'm paying $2.50 Canadian for them. You know, like
I get them
little
in
cardboard hang up whole thing on the wall. You know, real nice.
I get them in that styrofoam pack of 24 plugs.
Yeah, I don't go through that many.
Shop pack, and most of the time when I price it out, the champions and the Briggs and Stratton marked ones, which are also champions, right? But still, sometimes they cost the same. And I'll buy a 24 pack of RJ19LMs or the equivalent Briggs and the RC 12YC equivalents.
Yep.
And they last me for 6-7 months, and I'll just go get a new one. And it's I think the cost of a plug, if that makes the difference whether you're going to do a repair or not for a customer, you're screwed anyways. No, I mean, if that's a deal breaker.
So I found a lot about plugs. If you can easily gap the plug, like at that, if that the ground electrode, not the positive electrode, if that bends easily, it's probably a cheap plug. Like some of them, you can almost just put them on the table and close the gap. That's not good, right? Because that thing could break off inside the cylinder, and away you go.
Yeah.
Well, we got all of ours upstairs. Go ahead, close.
Okay, Michael Roberts says as long as it works, that's all that counts, right? Yes and no, Michael. The little small engines are dirty burning engines. They deposit a lot of crap on spark plugs. They're air cooled, and the air cooling on them. This is not a Volkswagen bug air cooling. This is rudimentary. Everything that comes off the flywheel, that's all it gets. And if it's jam packed with crap, it gets hotter. And these little engines, they run super hot. And the newer ones, they're even worse because they're leaned out too because of emissions.
So I think it could be the Japanese or the Chinese engines that are fading the plugs.
Just a second, Bruce. So Michael, you need to change your spark plug every 50 hours minimum. It is worn out. It's been subjected to a lot of heat, a lot of dirt, and that's why they recommend it. Sorry, Bruce. Go ahead.
It's right in the manual.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bruce. Sorry.
That's okay. I forgot already.
No, but I hear a lot of people, oh, isn't it a waste to change the plug every 25 or 50 hours? In a car, yes.
We just got in one of those older John Deere self-propelled mowers, the old ones. I forget what they're called, the SB or something. I forget what they're called, but really nice looking mower, like never had a lot of issues with them. And the guy said it's running a little weird, right? So we said, well, we're going to check the carb and everything. When we took out the plug, we used Kenny's buddy sent us that spark analyzer for Christmas. So we took it. It was an NGK BPR6ES. We took it, and it was carboned up a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. We put it in the spark tester, ran it. When we first turned it on, there was nothing. Then all of a sudden it started to spark. Then all of a sudden for a split second it stopped. Then it started to spark. Then it stopped. Then it started to spark. Put a new plug in it and bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah. And what people don't realize is that carbon is an isolator. Carbon cannot conduct electricity.
Oh, yes, it can.
Well, it can, but not enough to create spark.
You can run a current through a pencil lead.
I know, if there's enough of it, yeah.
But now, how many times have you seen a chocolate brown spark plug? When you've got a piece of equipment in for repair and you see that chocolatey brown color, like I think I've seen 2 or 3 in 12 years. Where I know right away whoever owned that lawnmower has been maintaining it, changing the oil on a regular basis.
And it's either been a Honda or Kawasaki.
Yeah, you could. I think they were both Kawasaki's. 2 of them were Kawasaki's. I think one might have been a Quantum.
Yeah, well, that is extremely good. Briggs and Stratton says on all their engines, everyone from old to brand new, every 300 hours, please remove the head and remove carbon mechanically. Yeah. That is because these engines are dirty burning. Remember, they cannot change their timing in the spark. It doesn't.
300 hours on a flathead is 10 years.
It could be, yeah. But they still say after 300 hours, remove head, remove
10 hours a
carbon.
year.
Yeah. But look at a guy that runs a 2-cylinder whatever on a zero turn doing commercial jobs. He will go through 300 hours,
Oh, yeah.
and nobody takes out the heads to remove carbon unless the thing has broken down. So Michael, in terms of replacing the spark plug, it is a cheap, efficient way of reducing carbon buildup in those engines. Same thing with changing the oil. If your engine is burning dirty oil, it will deposit more carbon. If it burns clean oil, it'll deposit less. So the trick is, if you don't want to take your head off every 300 hours and clean it and get yourself a new head gasket and put it back on, try at least to minimize the amount of carbon that the engine produces. And a new spark plug every 50 hours or 25 for old Brixes, good air filter, good fuel is key. And it's, I mean, my personal mower is a Honda HRX. It's the GCV 190. It is just turning 11 years old this year. I have these little, inspection cameras that can go in and look everywhere. There is so little carbon in that engine that it's crazy. But I change the oil on it once a year or every 50 hours. I have an hour meter on it, so I can check. And it usually comes up with once a year. But if you have dirty oil and you start burning it, it's going to do. And the same thing with your cars, with your EGRs. I mean, you have dirty oil, it clogs up the EGRs super fast,
I had a Honda GCV come in. The last time I looked at it was 5 years ago, and it hadn't been touched, hadn't even had the oil checked. The oil was down 10%, and I tuned it up.
What, was it still clear or was it black?
Oh, it was black.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was so black, it was surprising. Like some of them come out and you can still see some of the dipstick. This was just, it looked like somebody had painted the end of the dipstick black.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had
still running. GCV 160.
Oh yeah, they're good engines. But I've had Brix and Strattons predominantly on tillers. For some reason, I don't know why, but on tillers, where you change the oil, it's super duper black because it hasn't been changed like forever. You put in new oil, you run it for 5 minutes, and then you want to double check, and it's black again.
Yeah.
Dilution.
Wow.
Yeah, I still think there's so much oil you can't get out of an engine.
Yeah, well, you can't get the sludge out. You can get the oil out, but you can't get the sludge out. That's the problem. Unless
so many of them don't have a lower bolt plug drain anymore.
I know, they don't. The new ones don't. But I mean, if you do have a really sludgy engine, I've been running them on. I poured in pure diesel.
Yeah,
run them for 2 minutes at low RPM, and drain it out, and keep doing it until the diesel turns semi-clear. That's one way. But it's still, I mean, if you get an engine in that has never been cared for, are you the one who's going to bring it up to a higher level? Yes, no. Does people want to pay for it? Or engine oil over here is pretty expensive. I charge about $20 a liter. And that includes removing the waste oil. But $20 a liter, it's a little expensive.
Yep.
Can I ask you guys a question? This little group doesn't see stuff until it's off warranty. Is that correct?
No,
Rare that we get something that's under warranty. Rare.
Right. I had a little Pulsar. It was definitely a Chinese-made engine sold by Home Depot, and it came in because the person did something wrong, and the warranty was no good. And I really liked the style and the build of it, but you could tell that there were no tolerances in the design or in the final execution. Have you ever heard of pulsar?
No. Pulsar on a what? A mower?
Yeah, just a push mower, run-of-the-mill garden.
No, I don't
variety.
think I've ever seen a pulsar mower, Bruce.
The housing that holds the rewind, what do we call a shroud or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it, was totally plastic.
Wow.
And obviously the rewind and everything was plastic except for the spring. It was I should make a video on it. I got film on it, but it's on my desktop still. So, but it was really interesting, and it had something had happened, and the cylinder right next to the exhaust port on the inside something had come off, and had scraped, and it was so bad you had to prime it to get it started, and I couldn't get operable RPM out of the deal. That's
Michael,
it.
Michael kerosene works great too.
Yeah.
If you look at that, it's got a four-wheel height adjuster on it.
Yeah.
Looks
Bag
very
fit well. It actually was a good design. Like the wheels weren't too bad because some of the modern wheels are so plasticky you could hurt them with a screwdriver, right? And I was impressed with it, but it just didn't have the solidness that you want to feel.
Now, the other thing would be with a pulsar, like how easily are the parts accessible? Like, for something like that that's not a brand name, are you going to be able to get parts for it if you need it?
I even Googled who makes the motor for pulsar.
Yeah, and it's the cable, and
I don't know how it is with you guys and your channels, but over here I get pelted in emails with companies that want to give me a robotic mower for testing.
Yep. Us
I
too.
get 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah, and every time I get one, I write back, "Thank you very much. I would like to test one, but please first tell me what kind of service organization do you have? Where can people claim warranty? Where can you buy parts?"
Yeah.
And 99% of them goes. So I'm not gonna on my channel. I am not gonna advertise a product that is disposable. Like I will not do that.
Yeah, we've been offered a lot of parts from every company. I remember the one winter there was like I don't know if you guys ever saw that snowblower, the battery operated snowblower that didn't have enough weight and it wouldn't even go through 2 inches of snow. Well, some company was going to send Jake like a 700-pound battery operated snowblower. I guess this thing would have went through everything, but I mean, it was on a boat from China, and we just said, you know what? I haven't got any place to store 700 pounds, and I don't know how I'll get it off the truck.
Yeah.
So I just read that Ducar makes the engines for Pulsar.
Ducar.
Ducar.
Yeah.
So I did an autopsy on it. I thought this is my chance. Like, it actually had 120 psi on the cylinder when I measured it for compression.
Yeah.
But they should be at 150 psi, right?
Yeah.
So I took it apart and I found that 3/4 of an inch gouge in the side of the cylinder, and I'm not fixing that. Like you could feel it with your fingernail. You could make noise on the damaged area. It was very interesting. Ooh. Ooh, that's a copy, eh?
212 cc. Nice engine.
So that's definitely another clone, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, we just got in a pressure washer, an XL 2800 with a Honda GC 190 engine on it. Gentleman said that he needs it. I'm in a panic to get my driveway done. I used it the whole day yesterday. It just quit working on me. I can't get it started. The oil's been changed. Can you take a look at it? So, yeah, no problem. It likely needs a carb cleaning, right? So the first thing you do naturally is you're going to, plus the recoil was broken. He tried to restring it. Recoil rope wouldn't go all the way back in, and he said it was seized. He couldn't pull the recoil rope when he put it back on. But he said the flywheel was turning. So we said, okay, first things first, we're going to fix the recoil. So we lubricate everything. Recoil's working fine. Give it a couple of, I think, 3 turns on the spring. Check the flywheel. Flywheel's moving. Everything's good. We're gonna check for spark. Check for spark. We've got spark. We got good spark. But the flywheel cover we take off and we just clean it up a little bit. We check the gap and everything's good. We got spark. So next step, give her a little shot of fuel and try to fire it up. This thing should give us a little bark anyways, right? And we get nothing. We get 0, no bark. So we take out the compressor tester. We check the compression. We got 100 PSI. Not great.
No.
But not bad. We've had ones that had 100 and they fire like nothing. So we said, guaranteed valves are wide open, right? But you could feel there's compression there, like, so take the valve cover off, look at the valves, and the 8 thou exhaust is like 19 thousandths of an inch.
So it's just,
and the 6 thou intake was 15 thou. But we check, everything's moving, everything looks like it's sealing. So we reset the valves and we check and we rotate and we check and we rotate and we check to make sure that they're staying where they're supposed to be. Give it another shot of carb cleaner, try to get it to bark. No bark. So now we take out the leak down tester. Losing 50% at the exhaust valve when it's closed. Now this is when I say, you know what, this guy, and this thing didn't have a low oil shutoff. I says, this thing got run low on oil. I called the guy up. I said, what's the chances that you were running this thing and it shut down on you and then you checked the oil and the oil was low? He said, yeah, how did you know? I said, why didn't you tell me at the beginning? I went through because if he would have said I ran it low on oil, I said, you likely got a bent valve, exhaust valve, or you got something like damaged now. There's no sense in putting any money into it, other than doing a quick check. But then we would have done the compression test and the leak down test.
Right away.
You know what I mean? So you got to get all the information, and you just never get it.
So yeah, what tweaked me on with my Pulsar engine was the lady said, I got it running, and then it just kept running slower and slower and slower until it quit.
Yeah,
We had no oil in it.
I know that you guys, Wayne and Bruce, you guys are, Bricks Quantum experts. So I got a Quantum. It started out with a little bit of an oscillating in the RPMs, which is, we all know what that is. And once in a while, it will go out the exhaust. You know that sound Brixes make once in a while?
Yeah.
So I attacked it. I took the valves out, lapped them back in, adjusted them. Little bit on the low side of the interval, but still within spec. Put them back in, put a new head gasket in, clean the head, back on, put a new plug in. It was still oscillating, hunting. So drilled out the jet and the carb just a little bit. Hunting almost went away, but just a hair of it. But it still had the once in a while. Adjust the coil, check the coil with the spot checker, green across the board. Replaced the spring for the throttle governor thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That took away the rest of the hunting. So hunting is gone. It still goes, once in a while. Why does it do that?
And all you're getting now, is this an auto choke or a prime?
Prime.
And when it primes, it's priming really good, like you're getting 3/8 of an inch shooting up.
You prime it twice, you yank, it goes. Yep. Absolutely. Why does it continue to do that? I call it farting, but it's such a weird
Did you tighten down the there's 2 bolts on the intake tube.
Yes, I
What
do.
about
I
yeah,
even,
and
I
the
even,
three bolts on the 3 bolts on the head too, there that are close to the exhaust.
yeah, but the head has been removed and torqued
Yeah.
back in at this point. So, but the intake manifold, I've had that off to check for cracks in it.
Yeah, you're
And
on the
the
right path.
gasket, and I did not replace the gasket. It was the old gasket, but it was intact. Put it
Yeah,
back
yeah.
on, tighten it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It still does it.
There's two things I would think of. One you can get at real easily is the flywheel key could be off even a half a degree.
Checked it, replaced it.
Yeah, you almost have to replace them if you're looking for something that's that subtle.
What I did, Bruce, is I took the head off. I put valve lapping compound inside. I lapped the flywheel
You
back
lapped
onto.
onto the shaft. Oh.
Yeah, so everything was good. I put a new OEM key in it, torqued it down to spec. It still does it.
The only thing I can see is it's internal is a weak spring on the decompression release.
But why would that create an issue at running RPM?
Yeah, it should be out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, right?
And hey, everything is welcome because I
And-
do not understand it. I have
Did you get it?
no.
No, you
I-
wouldn't happen to have another curb there that you could put another front
Now,
curb on.
see, thank you, Wayne. That is my last resort. The only issue is it's been discontinued.
Oh, okay.
Did you
So-
put a brand new key in it like I mentioned
Yes.
before?
Yeah,
Of
he
course,
did.
I always do what you tell me, Hank. So yes.
And what about that little rubber
I-
seal
I-
behind the carburetor that goes on the intake?
Yeah, I even lapped the flywheel on the shaft with lapping
I've
compound.
never done that.
Bruce, that's a video right there. It is fun to do. It's easy to do, and it works. Even on chainsaws, if you have one of those chainsaws where the flywheel has a tendency to slip a little, lap it in with lapping compound. Works really
Now,
well.
one more thing. Did you take some, I know it's not, you shouldn't do it because it's not safe, but take some carb cleaner and spray it on the intake area and where the rubber seal is on the intake manifold on the carburetor. That whole thing can be off. Eh?
That was my first thing to do before I checked the inlet manifold.
Right, of course.
No response on that. None.
See,
Uh,
I had a Honda that I worked on, and over 12 years here, we've been ultrasonic cleaning carburetors, and it's rare that we can't get an OEM carb either rebuilt or cleaned and running smooth. And this the Honda one where the pilot jet, it's not that little plastic jet.
It's
the one that's got the
screw.
But I was
Phillips head
thinking,
screw.
I was thinking in terms of the hunting, I knew the last 5% to get rid of that was because the spring was old.
On the valve.
The governor spring. The governor
I'm thinking
spring.
of the valve spring. I'm thinking of the valve spring on the engine.
Those, I mean, I check them, not scientifically, but I hold them and I, and they on quantums they're the same. It doesn't matter which one you put where, and they seemed good. They seemed good.
You're getting into a pretty subtle problem here. Eh?
It is subtle to the extent of
Aggravation.
You know how it is, Bruce. You decide you want that fart sound to go away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
normally a valve job, a new plug, a good spark, a good carb will take care of that issue. And
I actually, you know me, I'm not a spark plug. I will reuse a spark plug, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have had a spark plug do that to me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've replaced plug. The only thing I have not replaced yet is the carb, and it may well be the carb. But I check for wear in the axle for the butterfly.
Yeah,
I've replaced I've replaced the little foamy.
around the shaft.
Yes.
And made sure that you had lubrication in there and it was moving freely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I ultrasonic the heck out of that carburetor. I dunked it in alcohol and I blew it out and I poked and I And I even drilled out the because to get rid of the hunting, I drilled out the main jet just a little bit, and that took a lot away. And then the new spring, and the hunting is gone.
But now you got this little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly, Bruce. you should travel with that shit. That's good.
Well, like I was saying, Klaus, I had the Honda that I had ultrasonic cleaned, and it was hunting.
Yeah.
And I just happened to have a brand new Honda carb, OEM carb in a box that's been sitting in there likely for 10 years. I said, I'm just going to put this carb on. I put it on, runs like a clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it may well be the
So
carb.
now what I'm thinking on this carb that I've taken off that's hunting, we've been using a 3-liter ultrasonic cleaner, and it's been doing an excellent job. We've also got a 6-liter. Well, the 6-liter is going to do a more effective cleaning, right?
Yes.
No.
It's got extra transducer in it. It's got more power output.
It's
you don't think it'll do a better job?
I think so, because of the vibrations would be more universal.
I think so.
No.
Well, I will let you know the next time I see it.
And Kenny, you may jump in here anytime. When the sine wave hits the dirt, it breaks it up.
Okay.
It doesn't break it up better because there's 2 sine waves hitting it. If you cook it at 6 degrees C maximum for 20 minutes, it is as clean as it's going to get.
Yeah.
No.
Now, and I will say though, the people say that all the time. Oh, this one's got more transducers. Forget about it. Your item will receive that pulse from 1 transducer or 2 transducers. It doesn't make a difference. If you got 6 degrees, you got an approved cleaner, and you cook it for 20 minutes. That'll do it.
Well, have you ever tested your ultrasonic with aluminum foil?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you got one with 2 transducers and you got one with 3 and you got another one with 4, I bet you the one with 4 puts more holes in divided by 4.
No, it just happens a little faster, Wayne.
Yeah.
That's all. It doesn't put more holes in the foil. It just happens a little faster. I will actually say, if you don't need a 10-liter and you can do with a 6-liter or a 3-liter, do the smallest one, because it takes forever for that water to heat up.
I use the barbecue.
What's the aluminum foil test?
You stick aluminum foil in your cleaner, and you see how long it takes before the waves pokes holes in the aluminum foil.
Just like your carburetor.
Yeah, I take Stella, I take a coat hanger and I cut it and I bend it into a rectangle, and I wrap the aluminum foil in so I can set it on an angle so it sits inside the ultrasonic cleaner for an angle. Turn it on for 10 seconds, and that'll tell you if you got a weak transducer. It'll tell you if one of the transducers isn't working.
So you got to hold it like near. I'm pretty sure mine has 2 transducers, so you have to hold it like over one and then move it to the other one.
I just bend it so it fits inside, so it covers
over both.
Gotcha.
That's a good idea. I've never heard it either.
Stick the foil in the liquid about midway where your items normally would be placed. If it cannot poke holes in regular tin foil, you got a problem.
Yeah.
But if it pokes holes in it, it may take, the big expensive one with a gazillion transducer, it may do it in 5 minutes, where the cheaper one will do it in 10.
Well, being as the carburetor's in aluminum, I still makes me think.
What was that?
Well,
the carburetors are aluminum too.
I
know, but don't get me wrong. It's not gonna.
They're so thick, right? Compared.
They're thick, and the waves just pounds on the dirt.
I'm gonna try that.
But I've had ultrasonic cleaning of carburetors that we've done. We put the carb bowls into, and if there's been water in the carb bowls, and like on the aluminum bowls, you see a little rusting. Make sure. I've made the mistake twice so far where by putting it in the ultrasonic cleaner, it cleaned it up, but it put a pinhole in the bowl.
Yeah.
Where the bowl had been
but-
worn,
but-
rusted out
yeah,
basically from the water.
Yeah, but that just means you need a new bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it was a bad bowl. It was almost worn
Yes.
through anyways.
Yeah, because I guarantee you the amount of metal that the ultrasonic removes from a surface is so minuscule, it's not even detectable. It's not like it's going to take when you put your aluminum foil in, like it's going to take the width or the thickness of aluminum foil off your carb. No, it's not. Not at all. The reason why it pokes holes in the aluminum foil is there's no backdrop, so
Yeah.
it just yeah. So yeah, but yeah, put aluminum foil in and see how long it takes. And
Good. Stella's going to do a test online.
I didn't
Watch
even-
this. Here, hold my
lost it.
beer.
Blow some holes into the aluminum foil.
Stella, I was so into myself, I didn't even get to say hi. Hi, Stella.
How y'all doing?
Good. Hello, Stella.
Yeah, these guys haven't. I posted a question, and these guys they haven't helped me yet. What do you think?
What's the question?
I
I
have.
told her to put a new car. I told him to put a new carb on, Stella.
You can't get a new carb. It's discontinued.
For what?
A quantum. It does that. Bruce, say the sound. That's the sound.
I don't think I've ever experienced that sound before.
Oh,
So, but I mean, I do have a quantum here that I just picked up. It was unbelievably overfilled with oil. Once I got all the oil down, and I just walked into the shop, I left the fan on because once I got it started, it was full of smoke. So I put on a fan, and when I walked back in here a few minutes ago, it was like, God, the gasoline smells awful. Well, this was sitting in front of the fan. This had about a half inch. No wonder it smells like gasoline in here. It's like, oh, dear.
Well, dang.
All right. So here we go, boys.
But Wayne, next step is a new carburetor. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now I likely got one in the hundreds of them that we've got in the scrap bin. Same thing, close. I had that little tiny poof, that little noise that you're hearing in a Tecumseh that we just did. And I went into my scrap bin. I picked out another Tecumseh carb that I had run through and cleaned after I had done a swap, and it got rid of it.
yeah. It must be the carb then. Must be the carb. I wish I had more Tecumsehs over here, but when I do get Tecumsehs here, they are those licensed produced Tecumsehs. I think you guys are spared for those. That's a good thing. They are horrible.
Well,
But
there's
I
two
don't-
kinds. There's the old Italian ones, and then there's the new LECs or whatever they are.
The Italian ones, no.
Somebody should do a car cleaning video.
No. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Every time I do a video, it's a carb cleaning video.
Wow.
That's novel.
Yeah, I mean,
All right,
anyone's
so
never done that.
How long do I do this for? 5
Shouldn't
seconds?
have to do it long.
Until it pokes holes in it and time it.
All right.
Now I know why Big
Now I
John.
won't be able to hear you.
Now I know why Big John called Hank Big Yank, because he's yanking our chain.
Stella, step away. Take the microphone and take it away from your.
Get the microphone out of the water.
Yeah, take the microphone. Man, that is loud. She can't hear the thing. No, she's not degassing. She's testing the strength of the coil.
Degassing is the first 5 minutes that you run it if you're using regular water.
You don't have a degassing button on yours, Wayne?
Yeah, it's set for 5 minutes.
I know.
As soon as you power it up.
Just an expensive button.
Yeah.
I think I got holes in this bad boy. I put it right in the middle.
Yeah.
I have maybe 10 or 15 seconds in.
You got
Good.
holes?
I have oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you got it. You
Yeah,
got it.
it's
There's
working.
you don't need a new cleaner.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure mine has 2 transducers in it. I
Yeah.
think.
What is it, a 3-liter?
I don't know. It's about this big.
Yeah, it's likely got to.
It's
Yeah.
probably.
I think unless you buy the really small ones, you know, for like spectacles and jewelry,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to. I mean,
It's
it's
it's probably either 2 or 3 liter. I don't
there you
remember.
go. There
She
you
I
go.
would
guess you had one with hot water ready to go like that.
Me, no. That's cold water. That's kind of amazing. But I have put in like Briggs and Stratton, carb bowls, and if there's any pitting in them, boom, it'll
Yeah,
go right
you just
through.
said that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I use cold ultrasonic cleaning solution when I do the E series, the plastic carbs.
Yeah. Smart,
I don't
smart.
heat the fluid up.
Good idea. Good idea.
Well, I usually turn it on, and I'll do it for one 20-minute cycle, and by the time the second 20-minute cycle is done, it's heated up.
Oh yeah, just the friction alone creates heat.
Hank,
I take mine out to the barbecue and heat it up to 70 degrees out there, and then by the time I get it into the thing and warmed up and filled up and turned on, it's at 60.
I got an electric kettle in the shop. I heat up the fluid in with the electric kettle.
Makes
I
tea
have
taste like hell.
Well, I
Don't use it
sometimes
for
stick,
anything other than ultrasonic cleaning fluid, Bruce.
I sometimes stick my fingernails in there or my fingertips just to watch the stuff come out from under my fingernails. Maybe I should stop doing that.
yes, that might be a good idea.
Is that called a
Hank, that
Manicure?
dip-in thing I have, that dip-in heater I have, what's that called?
The-
That that dip that heater
yeah.
element I put in my ultrasonic. What's the name for that? You've seen it. It's that coily thing you plug in and you dip it in.
Oh
Is that
yeah,
what-
it's for soup.
Yeah,
Dude, just
Oh.
an immersion heater.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Big words,
2,000
fella.
watt 2,000 watt immersion heater. It'll take my 6.5 liters of shop cold fluid to 60 degrees.
That's a good idea.
In 12 minutes.
You guys
Yeah,
are
we
rock-
used to use those in the Ford shop to keep the tong tanks that were filled with water from freezing, so that
Yeah.
we always had water in there that we could cool off the
I
Ford.
used to use one of those in my cattle feeder to keep the water
Yeah.
from freezing.
Correct.
Cost about
Was
$20 a day to run it.
Was that really that loud in the background?
Oh,
Yeah, you'll have to go
Yeah.
back and have a look.
Well, it's
Well,
really
all-
funny because when I do videos, I have run it in the background, and once I go back and edit the videos, it's really not that bad.
But you had on, don't you have a mic on your shirt?
No,
Oh,
you know-
it's on my computer, so my laptop on the other side of the shop. I mean,
All
it's a
depends
small
if you
shop.
got earphones in or if you're just listening
Yeah.
from the computer. It's
No, it's a
totally
computer
different if
with
you
mic,
have
yeah.
earphones in.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's fun.
Jake was working on an old Craftsman riding mower the other day. Been a long time since we had a riding mower in this old. And when he took the deck off, he noticed one thing and he said, "Look at this, the original design. You got your belt pulley, and below the belt pulley, they have a smooth drum underneath it.
Yes.
That's where the brake pads hit. On all the new ones, you know how the brake pads always go against the belt or the pulley, and eventually they get eaten right through or they get cut off by the pulley.
Yeah.
These old ones, they had it made. If they would have kept on making the spindles like this, brake pads would have never worn out.
Yep.
Only big problem we had was when one of the blade bolts, it's got double blades on it. One of them snapped off, and the other one, the bearings were shot on the inside. And so now our parts available. Jake goes and checks, gets the part number, and he checks from the original. You can't get them anymore, but Amazon, the Chinese, are still making that spindle for $65. So we called the guy up. He said, order 2. And then Jake rebuilt one, just so the guy could have, and it's not that great. Jake thinks that the mandrel's slightly bent on it because it turns, but you could feel a little spot in it, and it's not the bearings.
Yeah.
And then he just bought some stuff. It's like a bearing filler, if you know, if you get if you're putting a bearing in and your housing's been worn a little bit, you put this around the outside and you give it 24 hours to cure, and it takes up that space.
JB Weld equivalent.
It's kind of like it's kind of like that, but it's just like it's like a Loctite, liquefied, and you put it on the bearing, and then you set the bearing in, you set the mandrel, and you just set it in place. And if you go and you try to move it before it sets, it'll move. If you let it sit to the next day, it's solid.
Oh, that's old school.
It's called,
You don't see that anymore.
that Loctite has a name, and it is super strong stuff. It is, what's it called?
Did she just pick that lawnmower up?
Yeah, just pick up on the
All
side
right.
and pull
Like
out the
that, eh?
blade. That is
Hey, John, like that. Eh?
shockingly.
All he needs is a surfboard and a pair of shorts.
So this is if you guys ever, this is really kind of funny here. I pulled this blade off, and one side is very, I think it was put on there correctly, but I'm looking at both sides are sharpened. Look at that.
Oh, I've seen that. Yes.
I've seen them.
They had it on
Yeah, some
backwards
of the
and on
blades
back.
you can buy are like that.
Yeah, that's when you put it in reverse. It cuts too.
Well, this is clearly not the blade for this mower.
Hank. Yeah.
Stella, there'll be a number on the blade. Check it from the parts diagram if that blade will work, but it likely
It
will.
might have been
It's a
sharpened by
blade.
it might have been jerry rigged that way.
I think it's just people are just,
Stupid.
people.
But I've seen those blades.
No, this is the factory. This is factory on both sides.
Yeah, but only one's a cutting edge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although it will when it's
But both edges are dinged up. It's for mowing upside down. I love it. Seriously, I have never ever seen this before.
Okay, did you happen to see the orientation of it before you took it off, where it was?
Yeah, it's the bolt is going here, so
Yeah.
it's going on right.
yeah,
that's
where it goes.
Yeah, it's got the elevators on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stella,
But they're both sharpened.
does it look like a factory edge, or does it look like somebody?
It is a factory edge on both edges. It is a 195-057.
Then they are doing it to increase.
Can you repeat that again, Stella? I'm gonna just pull up Google.
It's a 195-057. This is
Well, Jake says it's a mulching blade.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But they will then do it to increase airflow.
I'm gonna it's a
That,
Oh, they don't have a picture of it.
that's gonna hurt right there.
Cutting too close to the edge.
917-348-2420. Is that what I said? 917 388-420.
917-388.
388-420 parts diagram.
I think I've even got some of those blades in stock, Stella.
I've never seen them. Sears Parts Direct. Well, I'm not going there.
Yeah, 9. It's a 9. Yeah.
That's so if the person that's putting the blade back on puts it backwards, it'll still
Backwards, it'll still cut.
Yeah, but it won't have any lift, Hank. There's no lift when you flip it up.
Yeah, no
the
lift.
other way.
Wayne,
The lift is gone.
Wayne, that Loctite you were talking about is called 638. It's a retaining compound.
Yep.
Jake must be in the shop. Jake, if you're out in the shop, put that bearing liquid in the comments that you used when you were rebuilding those spindles yesterday.
What the 638 does is that it will help securing a bearing in whatever shaft you're putting it in, so it doesn't spin.
It might be the 638 that he used. I don't know.
It is super strong stuff, really. It's like, have you guys ever had that green? You know, on Honda carburetors, the little adjustment knob that can only go like 30 degrees back and forth. If you have to take it out, you have to heat it. It comes off. You can take the needle out and put it back in.
Yep.
The green retaining compound you're supposed to use. No,
Yeah.
that's the 620 is for the Honda.
Yeah.
The one I mentioned is for bearings.
Close. You're right. Jake just put it in it's Loctite 638 bearing retainer compound.
That is. I mean, you better
Super
make sure
tough.
you got it right the first time, because that stuff glues it in.
And just a little shout out to Stens for anybody out there that's listening. And if you've got an account with Stens, you would know, I guess. But in Canada, they're in honor of their 55th anniversary, they're giving us free shipping from the middle of June until August the 3rd.
Oh man, I was looking at blades. Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, but do you have a Stens account?
No, I don't.
Yeah, see, you need a Stens account.
Okay, I just paid I don't want to get into this, but I just paid a $9 tariff on some 4.5 rope.
We just had to send back a belt and a coil that somebody ordered that was no good. We did, we're limited to the size of boxes we got, so we grabbed a box that this big long belt would fit in. The belt was $100 and some odd bucks, eh? Anyways, Jake says he came back. He said it's $60 to ship it because of the size of the box.
Hey, what's with the crown and number 3 on there? What's that all about?
I don't know. I guess we are all equal, but some are more equal than others.
What's
This-
the crown?
This is
What are
the
you talking
correct
about?
way.
Eliminator performance, it says, and then there's a crown and a
Yeah.
number
See it?
3 next to it.
I don't
Yeah,
see
and-
nothing.
I don't see anything either.
In the chat, you don't have that?
Yeah, I see that.
Look
I
at
have
oh,
it.
in the chat.
I have-
Hold on.
I have it. And
The
also
crown
when,
and number
when
3.
John,
Oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah.
That's
when John
because the
Clement-
king is here, Hank. The king.
okay.
yeah, but, see, but
Oh, I don't see it.
before
Okay, I just clicked on the crown and 3, and it just brings up Eliminator Performance.
I see Eliminator Performance with the YouTube logo underneath it.
Oh, you're the third top fan. That's what that means.
Jesus, these guys, they need evidence for everything. Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
I wasn't that paranoid until
can
the
you-
CIA started following me around.
Kenny, can you blow this up?
Yeah. Yeah, see the 3? Crown and 3?
Yeah, that's the third top fan of somebody. Is that Ken?
Yeah, this is Big John, but when Jake started writing, after a couple of inputs, he got the crown number 3 as well.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, I haven't had lunch yet. I'll be right back.
Okay, Bruce.
Yeah.
1:30. It's 1:30, and I haven't had lunch.
Kenny, I'm good looking. I'm not that good looking. Thank you.
Yeah, that's weird, that crown.
Yeah, it is. It maybe did you guys have a paid subscription with YouTube? No, I do. So, and you do too, Hank, right?
No, I don't have a paid subscription.
You don't?
No.
Cheapskate. and it comes random. I mean, BS Small Engines just wrote in his first comment, nothing. Second comment, number 3 crown.
Yeah, I wonder what that is. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe we can win something.
Yeah, I clicked on the purple one that was on top, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way to 50, and Archie has the crown number 1.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably something. Oh, have you guys heard about auto dubbing from YouTube? Yeah, we see that. Yeah. And if you don't do it on your phone, you can actually see the name of the channel. Have you guys heard about auto dubbing coming on YouTube?
Auto dubbing, no.
I'm looking forward to it. Which
But
means
they're gonna auto dub my English into
Chinese,
yeah.
Swahili.
Swahili.
I mean, that's what they say. They say they won't in the beginning. They're not going to do it for older movies, but older videos. But for only the ones you put up from whenever they do this. But hey, guys, that means that you can now listen to me saying, "Welcome to Hobby Motor. Today we are."
You know what? I went on your channel on my computer here, and when I went to subtitles, it was still said Danish. It didn't say English.
But remember when Kenny did a video, it was auto dubbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It had somebody else's voice on there.
Yeah. Somebody else was
It's like a
talking.
Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
I will now become Godzilla. You will, aha.
But when I watched that video first time in the morning, it was Kenny talking. And then all of a sudden it came up in the afternoon, and I said, "Who the hell's on here? Who the hell is this? This is."
Yeah.
So I texted Kenny. I says, "What's going on?"
I know it's like someone kicked me in the nut.
Yeah.
Well, just
Yeah, I went up about 4 octaves.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I mean, for a there are possibilities there. There really are.
Oh, you would grow like crazy.
Wow.
You would go from 5'7" to 5'8" anyways.
Wayne, that was absolutely uncalled for.
How tall are you, Klaus?
5'7", according to my California
Are you
driver.
5'7"?
Yes, sir.
And is that what I said you were? 5'7"?
You said
That was
6.
a good guess.
And then
Did I
you said
say 6?
And when we are 5'7", which means we are not tall, we are not low, we are constantly aware of our height.
Yeah.
So when you say 5'6", I'll go, no, I'm 5'7".
I used to be 6'3". I think I'm 6'2" now.
Yeah, I'm 5 foot. I'm 5'8", and I used to be 5'9".
And I'm hungry.
Pardon me for eating in front of you people.
What'd you do? Take your shoes off, Bruce?
No, my spine is an inch shorter.
No, but it's
Whoa, how many fans you got?
Like new.
Like no.
Kenny, do you
Sharpen
want
the
us
right
to-
side, Stella. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I had to think about it though. I was like,
Kenny, do we all have to donate for you to get some good internet? Because the one you have right now sucks.
who, me?
Kenny.
No, Kenny.
Kenny.
Oh,
I know, terrible. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I
And
mean,
you just converted, didn't you? You did something, right?
No, but we do have a new router and all that crap.
I think, Kenny, it is time you move into 2025 and get fiber.
My speaker's still on, right?
The heck is that?
What the heck is that?
Oil
Oh,
pump.
a fan.
That's a big ass fan.
sorry about that. That's my lift table.
Ah.
Oh,
Well,
You
Some
got
of
enough room in that shed for a lift table?
Yeah.
It's a motorcycle lift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Normally the motorcycle lifts are foot pump up, aren't they?
No, well, when I bought this one, it was a Harbor Freight special, and for $30 extra, I could get one with the pneumatic piston on it. Even though I didn't have a compressor at the time, I was like, I'm gonna get that one.
Oh, good
It had
move.
better wheel chocks on it too.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
cheesy ones just have like little clamps like that. This one has like
Yeah.
full upright chocks.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a compressor for like 3 or 4 years, and then when I got it, it's like woohoo.
Yeah. When I got mine, they didn't even offer that.
No, they quit doing it a couple years later. I don't know exactly how long, but I think I got this in 2008, 2009. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Is it hard to convert one like mine with a foot pump to a pneumatic?
There are lots of videos out there, and because somebody said, "Can you do that?" Because right now you can still buy these by whoever the manufacturer is. They just have different names on them anymore. Harbor Freight doesn't carry it, but now those lifts are like, $899. I think I paid $382 for this with a
Yeah.
coupon. So it was well worth the cash.
Yeah, everything's going up. The BR2 LMs that I used to buy for $3 and something our cost are now like we're almost paying $5 plus tax.
Oh yeah. But Bruce, you can't put a pneumatic
I hit it,
piston
so-
on.
I'm here.
You can't put that on your pendle lift because that would take the charm out of.
I don't care about the charm.
What was that, Kenny?
I said it's been over an hour. I got to hit it. I got stuff to do.
Okay,
So
Take care,
take
Kenny.
care, everybody. Nice seeing you all again.
see you, everybody.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah.